explorers, and welcome to another video. Today I'm gonna talk about media kits and how you can create your own media kit if you have access to the YouTube API. So I have this little tooling that I'm using for my YouTube videos called YouTube, where I can, in a platform, pretty much manage my YouTube content and handle descriptions and everything about my videos. And I built it just so I could manage my videos, and my workflow has improved by having that tooling. But one thing that I was using a service for was media kits. So media kits is when you need to send in some information about your channel in order to inform someone else about how many viewers you have and so on, so they can make an educated guess about the reach that your videos could have for their brand. And I used this external service, and for some reason when I sent the link over to one of them, they could not open that one. So I thought maybe I can just create a media kit that is a single HTML file, static, no extras, just one file that you could download and run on your local computer, and it would look pretty nice. And I added some CSS framework from the internet, so of course if you're having that, it would look even nicer. But let's switch over to my screen here and look at what you need to do. So first off, I have created two different scripts to handle this. One script that is fetching all the information for all my users, and the second one that goes through and takes that information on disk and actually creates the media kit. So first off, we have going through all the users. I have some helper functions where I can fetch all my users in the system. I get access from that user, so I have information about how they connect and so on to the API. And then I have this YouTube API call function that will use the user. So of course, all this with authentication and so on, that is something that you need to figure out. It's well documented. I'm not going to go through it in this video, but that's what this function is doing down here. So first off, I needed a date that is used for the analytics API. And I chose that I wanted data from last month. So the first date of last month is my start date, and the end day of last month is my end date. And then we go through each user here, and then we fetch something from the channel. I want to fetch channel information. So you have this YouTube API, and I'm gonna fetch for my user, my channel ID, the part of snippets and statistics. So I get two parts of the API there, and then I add extra in my calculation how many tokens do I have left to fetch data from the YouTube API. You need to keep track on this so you don't spam the API and call too many times. So if you don't have any more tokens, you're not allowed to get any more data. So that I'm keeping track on that. And then we have this function here where we get the actual result, and then I put the channel stat as the first response item. So you will get a little bit of a header telling you how many responses you got, but because I'm just asking for one channel, I'm only interested in the items and only the first item, because I only expect to get one channel when you're asking for one channel. And that will be my channel statistics. So that is the main object that I will save later on. Then I will fetch some information for this user. So all the videos that are active in my system. So I have a couple of different states of the videos. They could be active, or they could be some videos that are just internal, that is not something that should be shown outside of my YouTube channel. And I, of course, don't want those to show up here. So for this user ID, and then I'm looking at the YouTube published date and do a descending there. So I get the 5 last videos. Not that important, but I get a bunch of YouTube IDs here, fetch those out. And then I create a list here of 5 different YouTube IDs that I want to have information from. So you can do multiple in the next call. The next call is to call for the videos with these IDs, and then you want the snippet and the statistic. Snippet contains some information about the video or the channel. Statistics is extra information about that video or channel. Next up, we need to do a couple of calls to the actual statistics API to get more information that is required for our media kit. So I will put this into the videos here in my channel stat. So if you look at the media kit here, we got the first part here in the first call, and then I added the video segment, and now I'm going to get country and demographic statistics. So the first call for country here is to the YouTube Analytics API, reports, and the IDs should be a channel ID, and then you use double equal signs for some reason, and then the channel ID, and then you say a start date and an end date, and the metrics, in this case views, and then dimension should be country, and sort, in this case descending on views. And then I'm going to do the same for the next call here. Again, this channel name, start end date, and then viewer percentage for the age group and gender, sorted descending. And the thing is that I wanted to do the same for country, but that is not supported. So you can't have viewer percentage on country, you can only have views. So I would need to do some calculation later on for that. So fetching that information and then putting that into the demo stat here. So if we get information from the first one and not an error, because in some cases, if you don't have analytics as one of your allowed data sources that you can fetch data from, then you will get an error, and then I don't want to save this data, of course. So I will save the decoded rows to country stat, because in this API it doesn't give you items, it gives you rows. So I don't want to have the header information, I just want to have the rows, put that into country stat, and then I do the same for the demo and put that into demo stat. If we look at the media kit now, we have country stat, number of views from a particular country, and then we have demo statistics, and that is percentage, and it's split, so you have ages and the actual gender. So gendered and age needs to be in the same. So we need to split those later on as well. So now we have all the statistical data here, and the snippet for the channel is of course the data for the channel. And on the videos we have a snippet with the video information, some URLs, some channel information, and also all these view counts, like counts, dislike counts, comments, and so on. So there is a bunch of data here that we need to extract. So this is my media kit function here, and we can look at what we want to achieve. So if we switch over to my screen here, so first off I have the title of my channel, the description of my channel, everything of this is totally open, of course. We have channel statistics, number of subscribers, you have probably seen that. Views, I don't think that they are showing the amount of views, and I have about 652 videos submitted. And then we have a country and age here, so we see an age bracket over here. The most 25 to 34 is the main age for my viewers, and the most of them are from the US. And we also see that we have a small sliver of female viewers as well. And then we see my latest videos here. We see the actual views for each of them, not that different. Usually have about around 100 views per video. And then we have the amount of likes. So usually have a 10% like ratio to the video count, perhaps a little bit less sometimes. And then we have the amount of comments. That's the main part here. I really like to have good comments and things that I can answer or help out with if I need to. And we also see dislikes here. For these current videos, we don't have it in dislikes, but some videos could be a little bit more controversial and have more dislikes. So this is everything that we want to show off here. And if we go back here, first off, I have this function for abbreviating numbers. This was something that I just described very cleanly to ChatGPT, and it created it for me. So it's pretty much splitting things up in thousands, millions, billions, and trillions. And that is used, of course, for these statistics here. So subscriber views and videos. So those going to be presented a little bit more reasonable, or else there will just be a long number and you can have a problem to actually figure out what that number means. Next up, after that function, I also asked ChatGPT for a pie chart function. And it has two different use cases. Because in the gender case, I know that we have more than just this binary gender situation. But in YouTube, they only store information in either female or male. So I have a binary chart here. And for that, I just send in one number and the other will be other. So in my case, I send in how many females I have, and then the other will be males, pretty much. And so we have, or perhaps it's the other way around. I don't remember. But anyway, we have the binary colors here for blue and purple, blue or pink. And I think that is just colors that works. Again, the gender discussion. I like pink more. A female in my family likes blue more. It doesn't really matter. It's just the commonly used colors. And then I wanted some other colors, so I thought maybe yellow, blue, green could be good. And then we have gray for other. So what we do here is send on in either 3 or 1. So if we send in an array, we have 3 values. And if we send in 1, we only want the 1 value. So it looks, if this is an array, it will be, if it's not an array, it will just use 1 value and then create slices for that with 2 and then use the binary colors. If we have more, we expect 3 values. So it actually checks that I only send in 3 values. And then it will go through and create this maximum of these values here for 100. And then sum them up. And then figure out how much the others are. And then create slices and multicolors there. And then it will go through here and create an SVG for me using this function. And this is something that it is done multiple times before by other users. So I didn't want to figure this one out. Just asked ChatGPT and it created this code for me. So this is just one thing that I don't really care about. As long as it looks reasonable, it's just fine. Then I created this function here to create the video HTML because I want to have this video block the same and I want to do it 5 times for all the videos. So I start an OB start here. So I will capture what is actually printed into a variable. And then for each video, I will go through and first get the URL for the MaxRes video image here and put that into an image. And then in this article footer, I have a grid. And a grid in this case is just 1 line. So I don't really know how this framework figures a grid could only be 1 line, but yeah. So I'm using a grid to style this and I'm using 2 lines. And then we have 1 SVG for this eye icon, and then we have 1 SVG for the, what is the next one? This was the eye, and this down here is the chat bubble, so for comments. And then we see that we're using the statistics viewer count, statistics comments count. And then we have the thumbs up for like count. And then we have the thumbs down for dislike count. So nothing strange there. And then we will return the get OB get clean. So we will get the information there and return that back to the user. And then we come to the actual. This was just functions up here that did a couple of different things. So now we come to the actual code here that will create this page. So first off, we'll go through all the users as we did before. We will fetch the JSON file if it's available for this particular user from our data directory. And then we will have our JSON here. We will get the media kit file. This is the ID of the current user. So each user will get an ID from the YouTube ID. So this is a YouTube channel ID. And then we will check that this ID doesn't contain any bad characters. We just want normal A to Z numbers or dashes. And then where that media file is correct, we will fetch the HTML file. So this is my media kit XML, so it contains a bunch of these kind of places where you could put in information. So this is a template with a lot of information here, mostly styling, so nothing strange there. And then I will replace the channel name with the title, description with the description, subscribers, viewers, and videos. I will replace with their counts. And then we want to fix the demo statistics here. So first off, I need to check, do we have demo statistics? If we do that, we will probably also have the country statistics. So I will go through here and say, okay, I want the male percentage. So I just take that and count it up here. So this is how many. If the demo one is male, then we will add the value, the third value in the list. So the second index. And if the otherwise, if demo is not male, we will check for the first we will go through this 2 times because I will need to reset all the demographics, all the age brackets to 0. So I go through and take the 0th index in this array. So if we look at this demo statistics, the first value 0 is the age bracket, and then you have male or female. So in that case, I need to first reset all of those to 0, and then I go through and add to those values for the different age brackets. And then we will sort those by the value, and we will get the age values in one list. And then I will go through the country list and figure out the total of all these countries, and also put the country list into key values, and then sort that due to values. So now I have the values, I have the total, and so on. So now I can figure out percentages and also use the percentages for the different values. So first off, we go through the country value list here. And I just use C1, C2, C3 because I know that those are down here. Could put those closer to that that place down here. They were closer before, but if you have a very close connection, so you actually see them, then you can use very short variables. But if you have a long distance between where you're using the value and where you're assigning the value, you should have more explanatory names, of course. So I figure out the percentage here. So I take the country value 0 and the first country value in the list, which is sorted. And then I times that with 100, divides it with the total, times it 100, so I get the percentage. And then I do it for the second value and the third value in their index. And then I take the country keys, and the country keys I will use to present the country names. And then I use this locale get display region with a dash first, because first value is the language value, and then comes the country value. So EN-US, EN-GB, and so on. So I want to have the country value, and then I take the British pronunciation of that country value, pretty much, and get the country name. So that is what I will present as the statistic name for that in my little template here. So if we look at country, we see that we have the first statistic point here with the yellow, that is statistic country 1. And then the blue is 2 and so on. So I'm just having the same order for them. And next up we have the age. So in this case I need to remove the name, the age before everything here. So I don't want to have age, I just want the age bracket. So I remove that from these keys, 0, 1, 2, put that into age label 1, 2, 3. And then I will switch out the pie chart here. So I create a pie chart for country, gender, and age. And then I switch out the labels down here with country name 1, 2, and 3, age label 1, 2, and 3. And in the case where we had up here where we don't have any demo statistics, then we don't have any statistics at all. So we will replace this with an empty pie chart pretty much. And down here we will replace it with empty labels. So we don't have any information for the different. So it will look very empty, but you know that that information is missing. Could do an improvement here and create some instructional information in the pie chart saying that data is missing, for instance. And then in the template here, we also have a videos segment at the bottom. So let's go down here, the latest videos, it's just a grid, and here I will put in my videos information, and we will use that function we were talking about before. And then I will just put that file in my media kit in the HTML or the www directory and media kit, and then we will create an HTML there, and that is what we will present. That is what the user will actually hit. And because it's a static file, I don't really create anything on load. This file will be created once a week. So I will have an updated working media kit that I can just share with anyone. So this was what I wanted to cover today. I hope that you found this interesting. I hope that you learned something today. If you have any comments or suggestions, leave those in the comment section down below. If you like this video, give it a like, share it with your friends and colleagues. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. And I really hope to see you in the next one.